All right, I'm Ron, still with Kingdom Defense. We're going to be going over communicating with pastoral leadership. And
My name is Chris, and I am the token pastor in the situation. And just from my point of view, with security, there are a lot of things your pastor's going to know and he's not going to know. I do know common threats to the church. So we have people threaten us from time to time, even family or different things like that. So I have in the past gone to the security team and let them know, like, hey, here's some situations to be aware of. And I think you need that communication, but you also need the communication from the security team to the pastor. And a lot of times your pastor isn't going to be aware really of anything about security, especially a guy who came up out of seminary at 18 and he's been a pastor his whole life. And so he won't know what to look for. So how could you wrap him into that world as a security team leader?
so something like this is going to be good. We're talking about communication. Communication is key. Getting the approval from them is important too. That's something you need to do. As your security team liaison, you want to reach out and make sure everyone is comfortable, everyone knows what's going on. They might have information that you need, you might need have information they need. It's pretty basic. Making sure like they know what it is and what we're doing is going to be key. Having them talk about the stuff you would not know and inform them what they do know. You knowing what they don't know is important, and having it being a two-way street is going to be crucial, and having your entire team with them as well. Keeping whatever updates you need. It could be before congregation or whatever it is. Hey, a quick 2-minute, 3-minute brief. During, if there's a break or a lull, and then after too, making sure they're wrapped up in there as well. It's crucial because, again, I might not know or the team might not know what he knows and vice versa. Keeping that communication circle open is good.
And then once a situation kind of breaks out, the first people that the police would go to after action or the fire department or anybody would be either the lead pastor or the executive pastor of the church, because churches are seen as private property. So it'd be like they want to talk to the homeowner in a sense. The communication of what's happening within an event for a security team has to find its way to that pastor, who will probably be your first point of contact when emergency services get on ground. So as far as communication goes, would that be another radio channel, or would that be the team leader's job while the assistant team leader runs the scene? How does that work?
So it depends on what your SOP is, but a good measure would be for the team leader to have that direct communication. Normally it's a better face-to-face in person, but again, if you have the radio, that could be a great. I personally like, as a team leader, to be that guy in there. So I have direct communication with them. But again, it's you're depending on the SOP that you've actually dictated. And like you said, yeah, the pastor is going to be on there. They're going to be a link between all the branches. They're probably going to be there the majority of the time anyway, the stuff that you're not aware of. And also, for example, looking down here, hey, they do the children's workers, whoever's there, the Sunday morning volunteers or wherever service volunteers. They're better communicated with them too. They have a better overall picture of what is going to go on.
So you would almost use your pastoral staff as your liaison to children's ministry and like your greeters and volunteers.
Yes, not that saying that as part of the security team you can't, but your chain is my chain is to the team leader, my team leader is to them. Is what I would do. That's how the recon team works. It's simpler because I don't have to do everything. My team leader is a better follow through with that.
Okay.
Degree.
So like a detachment commander in a sense, where they're doing the higher echelon things.
Yeah. If
with
my
outside.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. So if my job is security, I'm worried about security. My assistant team leader, he's worried about making sure everyone's doing their job. My team leader is that bridge to that communication that we need.
So we've talked a little bit about children's ministry leaders. And for me as a pastor, my main concern with security isn't shootings, although those are happening more and more in churches. My main concern is actually the children. 90% the crime that happens in a church is toward a child, whether that's physical or someone taking a child. That's 90% of what happens in churches. So for a security team, one of your top priorities is the children's area And so you would have to communicate with the children's ministry leader in an event. Would that be your comms guy on the team, or would that be your team leader or assistant team leader? Who would be coordinating with the children's ministry, not pre-service, but in an event?
So normally I would like to set up my team leader as the follow through between the pastoral leader on that. Now he could designate, I want security specifically for that. Now, is it a badge thing? Do I have a sign out thing? And that's going to be, I'm going to have that two-way communication with the pastoral ministry to make sure that this is what he approves of. So there isn't a chance where anything, or the lowers the chance of that to none if I can. So yeah, I would have it as a team leader. So it's my leadership talks to them. And if I do have a designated person for the child, then that he could be in the loop as well.
Okay. Yeah. And so we have a check-in and check-out system. And then we have kind of a roaming leader for the children. She's over the whole area. So she's in every part of the children's ministry Sunday morning. Most mid-sized churches will have that. And so then that leader in the children's ministry could work with the team leader on the security team, because it sounds like the team leader is really commanding and a liaison as far as in an incident, and that the assistant team leader is more like your sergeant running the crew. Is that how that works?
That's how I would set it up. Again, it's
Okay.
going to be dependent on the SOP, but that for recon team, that's how we work. I'm as a team leader, I'm the liaison with whoever's in charge of the children, or she wants to be in some of the debriefs. I want her there, because if she sees something that I don't see, I need to, I owe it to you for that.
So number 3 is really the door to the church. Pretty much every church has door greeters. If it's 30 people, it has door greeters. And if it's 1,000 people, there's door greeters. And so could you talk me through how you would communicate with the greeting team pre-service, and then even during an event, how that communication would go?
Yeah, pre-service. So again, I would want them to be part of this pre-brief every time. Something I would go over is SOPs if there's any changes. And then also if like something as an event has happened earlier, like recently, then that needs to be brought up too. And we're really looking for trends, nothing that spikes out of the ordinary. So some like nonverbal red flags that would be set off. Like I would want to know about that. Like Rover 1, new team leader, suspected up front, whatever the situation is over. And that will also cue everyone else to, hey, I might raise my alert level or that. Or then I might bring in the pastoral leader of like, hey, this is what's going on. Is this a problem? Do you want me to act on that?
Okay.
To de-escalate if that.
Yeah. And then even like a two-way street from pastoral staff, like I'm pretty much always aware if there is a problem of like domestic abuse or a situation where someone might take kids while they're going through a divorce, and the church is a good place where the kids might be somewhere else. And, people are familiar with the parents, and then it'd be normal for them to check out their kids, but now the law is involved. Like I would know that as a pastor. And so then I would have to give that information to the security team. But also there would be some of the greeters, not all of them, because you don't want to cause gossip and cause more issues and more drama in a family. But there would be key people in your greeters and in your children's ministry, and probably all of your security team that would need to be aware of a situation like that within a church. So like the communication between the pastor or executive pastor, depending on the size of the church, and the security team kind of helps with all of the normal situations that you're going to have occur fairly commonly, more often than people would think. And so everybody's kind of worried about the shooting, and so am I, but also I'm worried about the kids. I'm worried about people being safe in general. And then like situations similar to what we've just talked about, I think can be alleviated with just really good communication, boundaries, and just good protocols and SOP.
Yeah, and we're all scared about the shooting of the missing kid, but some other emergencies, like someone could slip and fall, something like that. So they also need to be put in there. Like, hey, what does the congregation want to do? They want to help almost every time. So it's like, hey, this pastoral leader, he might take people away. Hey, we might pray for this person right now. That might be a good thing to do. Like my job is security. I'm thinking for the wellness of the person, but my job isn't to help pray at this moment. It is to get this person safe or liaison another way.
Okay. I asked our security guy to pray with me the other week because I had a lady, she was crying and stuff, and I'm not gonna like pray for a chick alone. And he was like, "Hey man, I'm on." So he did what you said. That was good. He was just like the first guy right by me, and so that's important, I think, for a pastor to know. Like, hey, the security team isn't my on the spot volunteer for something; they have a job.
Yeah, and it's and I don't want to say it's cold, but like you need to stay in your role. Even if you're a door greeter, you might want to help some family up like some stairs, like there's an elderly person or something like that, or someone on crutches. Like, hey, that might be part of your job. Now you can do that and not be sucked into the situation. You might still have your head on a swivel, keeping situation awareness. Or hey, can I have somebody come up? This is door greeter 1. Can I have door greeter 2 come up to help me? Like that could be part of it. Or like, hey, you might have extra people back there that could also help them too. So, but yeah, keep it on your mission, keep it in your role, and pray later.